Hey friends, today we're working on an 85 Ford F150, or 250 rather, but they'd all be the same, I'm sure. So if you've got a window that's not working like it should, let's say you press down or up and it's loose, or it just goes like it sounds like it's got a little bit of resistance and then it quits. Sometimes you might feel it, you might see it goes up a little bit and stops and goes up a little bit more, and if you help it, it goes up, you help it, it goes down. Most likely you've got these little plastic balls that they use as clutches in here are broken. Now, to take it off, not much to it. Of course, you take the door panel off, you got to take this screw out right here, which would be right in there. And I think that's it for screws. I don't, unless mine's just missing a bunch, but I don't think it is. And then, of course, you've got all these clips all the way around. Got to be careful with. Pretty good chance they'll break, but I would say have some spare ones on hand. Sometimes you'll actually have the whole piece just break out, a chunk of that plastic. So I would say very carefully. See this one? That one's broken right there. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyway, have some more of them plastic clips on hand. You gotta pop them off, pop it off, and then give it a little bit of upward pull, just so it unhooks that. And then you pull it up, and of course you gotta shimmy the door handle out. This rubber insert will come with it, of course. You gotta be real careful when you unhook these switches. It's your lock switch there. Mine's already broken here because they're supposed to have hooks in there either side, and they break if you're not careful, which these are already broken from a long time ago, I guess. But in there, you see, you got to unhook them very carefully. Keep in mind, they do break pretty easy. And then, of course, unplug them, pull the door panel off, pull this off. If you're not sure about this, I actually made my own door liner already. I can't remember if there was even one in here, but I did. And if you want just some vapor barrier, cut it to fit, alien tape. Alien tape you can get at Walmart. I just stretch it real thin, and then I stick it on, because you'll find this, you'll see this is way thinner than what it comes normally, but it's easy to work with. Just stretch it thin, pull it around, and then I stick this on. It works pretty good. Works to stick back on again. And to take this off, just these screws here. I believe it's this one, this one, this one, and that one. 4 screws. But you gotta have something to prop a window up. You'll see I just propped a grinder brush with a brush wheel on it in behind here just to keep the window from falling like that. And this is going to have to slide out your mechanism. I'll show you there in a second. Once you take this off, you got to prop the window up. You'll most likely have to, of course, make sure you unplug, because it's going to have a lot of pressure on it. See if you can unplug it before you take these bolts out. And you want, how do I say this? So you might have to do a couple of different things in a couple of different orders, but basically what I did is I unbolted all this here, was very careful with this wire, let it hang down, got it out of this railing first, then turned my auxiliary power back on, plugged it in so that I could drop the window down. You want to drop it down all the way. So you just, of course, push the window switch in the down position till it gets to the bottom, and then you're going to have to hold this up, and you can maneuver it out of here pretty easy, but I could not get it out of here with it in the up position, but of course you need the window up and out of the way. So you got to hold the window up. Once you have it out, move the window down to the down position, power with a motor, of course, and then I managed to maneuver it out pretty easily. Then once you got it out, ouch, got some stitches in my hand, and now every once in a while I bump it and it freaking hurts. But anyway, so then you unbolt these 3 screws. You might have to keep in mind the orientation, but I don't think you can do it wrong. Take those 3 screws out. These are all 8 mils, by the way. 8 mils, or I can't remember what the equivalent is in standard SAE now, but anyhow, you take these off, and then you pull that off. You'll find one more Phillips in there, that little guy right there. And you take that off, you pry this off, pop this out, just cover, just like that. And then in here, you see that? See those little balls in there? Here, let's see if I can make sure that we're seeing this properly. Shiny ball there, in there, and in there. Those used to be plastic. Basically, you'll see this here. I'll just pull it out just to show you guys. You can pull that out, pop it down, and you pop this gear out like this. And there's just little plastic balls in there. And when they wear out, then this thing can just spin in there. I tried hot glue one time, didn't hold. So you got to make sure these are in the corner. I just used some old bearing balls. Pop that in, make sure you got the right size, even if they're a little bit too small. See, these are smaller ones. I tried those were too small. If they're too small, they might still work, but it'll be a lot more likely to break, and so forth. just keep in mind, these aren't plastic. If you can find plastic balls like this, even better. I might check Amazon, see if I can get little plastic balls just for assorted tasks and jobs and projects and stuff. But keep in mind, if this all of a sudden were to get jammed and the motor were to force it, it would break that plastic piece now because it has nowhere else to go. So do it at your own risk, but I don't think this could even break it. These motors are pretty weak, so I don't feel like there's anything that could break there anyhow. But pop that back on, just like that. Line it up and push it into place. Put it all back together and go backwards. I'm gonna put this all back together again. As you can tell, if this is in the wrong position, I think this is the position I had it in, to where this is facing this way, and I believe the motor is going to be like this. That way you could actually get it in and out, which is good. But anyway, now I'm going to put it back together, throw it back together, and we won't have these freaking window problems anymore. I still got to figure something out for my switches here, but just something to hold the switch in place on there. Not quite sure what we're going to do yet. I might get crafty with some zip ties and some pins and stuff. You can see that these are supposed to, these clips, there's what holds it in the door panel over there, and one of these is broken out already too, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to see if I can get some new ones, but in the meantime, got to get creative with that. But hey, anyway, that's a different thing. Hopefully this helps somebody. If you guys have any questions, just ask in the comments, and as always, may God bless you.